Hello YouTube, Bane666 here. So recently there's been a lot of controversy over Sargon and a little tweet he made. If for some reason you've been living under a rock and don't know about it, or maybe you're watching this sometime in the future, I'll post a link to a recent video I made which goes through the topic in a lot of detail. But this particular tweet has sparked a lot of conversation about what is a joke and what isn't a joke. In fact, in the UK, they even had an expert on to discuss what technically is a joke and what isn't a joke.
Easily the best bit of the Sunday Politics show was when they got in a joke expert to tell everyone whether my comments were a joke or not.
Dr. Simon Weaver is an academic researching offensive jokes.
He is using a humorous mode. He is being ironic. He isn't offering literal description or communication. So he is engaged in joking. But
is there a more blatant way of saying that the elite class of this country are totally out of touch than getting an academic to research offensive jokes to tell them that I was joking? And yet, they still carry on.
I just find that hilarious, by the way. So I thought I'd make a video talking about some feminist jokes. That's right, we're going to have a look at some feminist jokes and we're going to analyse them and see if we find them funny. Now, before I get into these jokes, just let me say a couple of things. Firstly, humour is very subjective. Now, this is perfectly fine, right? Different people are going to find different things funny. That's perfectly fine. Although I do think that some jokes fail in such a way that almost everyone will find them unfunny.
This does not leave this theater on my pussy's best day. Smells like a small barnyard animal.
But, putting that aside, humour is subjective. Secondly, it's okay for humour to be offensive. Now, when you think about it, a lot of humour is offensive. In fact, you could argue that most of humour is offensive, at least in some way, to some people. Just think about this for a second. How many jokes are about religion, or politics, or sexuality, or numerous other topics which, tend to be a little bit controversial, to say the least? And even if the majority of people find those jokes funny, there will still be some people who find them offensive. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Often a joke is doing its job if it is offensive, because sometimes we use humour to look at tough issues, hard, serious issues in a lighter way. Or alternatively, humour can be used as a means of getting a point across. Now, once again, as I previously said, whether that joke is funny or not is subjective. But if someone does find a joke offensive, that goes on to my third point, and that is I don't think the person telling the joke should be banned. I don't think they should be kicked off social media. I don't think they should be prevented from running for politics. Right, Jess? I don't think they should be hunted down by an angry mob and drawn and quartered. Because, as I said in my first 2 points, humour is subjective, and in some ways, most humour is offensive, at least to some people. So if we went on a witch hunt for every joke that at least someone found offensive, all we'd be stuck with is the most inoffensive knock-knock jokes for children, and possibly why did the chicken cross the road? Although, come to think of it, some animal rights activists may even find that one offensive. Who knows? So, as we look at these woke jokes, I'm not suggesting that anyone who tells them should be hunted down or kicked off social media or prevented from running for politics or anything else. And I do respect their right to say these jokes, even though some of them may be considered offensive by some people. But just as they have the right to say these jokes, I also have the right of reply. And I think looking at these jokes is very, very telling. We can learn a lot about the person telling the joke and people who find the jokes funny. So this gives us the opportunity to look behind the veil of feminism and see its true motivation. Now, remember, feminists claim that they don't hate men, and that's just a rumour put around by ignorant people and anti-feminists who really just don't understand what feminism is about. Because feminism is just about equality of the sexes, remember? Remember the dictionary definition? You do remember that, right? I mean, feminism is just the dictionary definition, and no feminist ever, at any point, has gone against that. Because it's just a rumour that feminists hate men. Right? Have you guessed where these jokes might be going? Have you guessed what the topic of these jokes might be? If you have predicted that maybe these jokes are about hating men, well done. In fact, I'm going to keep a counter up in the left-hand corner, counting how many jokes are shitting on men, and I'll keep one up in the right-hand corner, counting how many jokes aren't about shitting on men. And we'll see at the end how many of these jokes are really just about shitting on men out of 30. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I'm going through 30 feminist jokes. Don't worry, they're short jokes. But maybe you want to predict, how many out of the 30 do you think are shitting on men? Maybe write your answer down in the comment section now. So this article on Thought Catalog is called 30 Hilarious Jokes for Feminists, because women are awesome. Now, two things. First of all, these jokes are for feminists, so equality, right? And second of all, because women are awesome. So the joke teller, the person who has collected these jokes, is telling us that somehow these jokes are lifting up women. These jokes are proving how women are awesome. I wonder how they're going to do that. Could it be by pulling men down? Yeah, it's so unlike feminists to do that. Anyway, the first joke is, what's the fastest way to a man's heart? Through his chest with a sharp knife. So violence against men as a form of humour. Now, look, I don't think we should get too precious about this. It's just a joke. I fully acknowledge that. Once again, let me stress, I'm not suggesting the person telling this joke should be banned from social media or prevented from running for politics or whatever. It's just a joke. But I do think it tells us a lot about the joke teller, that violence towards men is a humorous topic. Now, if we were to swap the genders of this joke, it suddenly wouldn't be funny, it would be a threat. And people like Jess Phillips would be up in arms. It would be a clear sign that the person telling the joke is a misogynist and hates women and thinks that violence against women is a joke. Hey, but, this joke, it proves that women are awesome. Hey, let's stab a man. That's fantastic. Next. 2. Why shouldn't you let a man's mind wander? Because it's way too little to be out all alone. I see. So, once again, we have a joke shitting on men. Because men are stupid, right? That's funny. All men are stupid and women are awesome. 3. How are men like parking spaces? All the good ones are taken and the ones left over are disabled. Wow, that's pretty ableist, right? Making fun of disabled people like that. But anyway, once again, I think this tells us a lot about the joke teller, that she can't get a good man. Might it be the 2 previous jokes? Could that be the reason why? Because she's willing to stab a man in the chest, and because she thinks all men are stupid. Could that possibly be the reason why she's finding it hard to get a good man? That's a real mystery. Could it be that the good men are avoiding her like the plague? I don't know. That's probably just a misogynistic thing to say, right? Number 4. What's the difference between a clitoris and a golf ball? A man will actually look for a golf ball. Okay, now this and another joke are very relevant for a joke which comes up towards the end. So I'll have more to say about this joke a little bit later on. But basically it's saying that it's a man's job to please a woman sexually. Now, I don't think that's a bad thing, right? Obviously, if you're in a relationship with someone, You want to please them sexually, but that should go for both partners, right? Spoilers, apparently it doesn't. Do you see where this one's going? And by the way, do some men actually have a problem finding the clitoris? I mean, I've never had a problem. It's not like it's hidden anywhere. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a woman. I don't have a clitoris, so I've never had a man try to find one for me. Ladies, if you're watching, please comment below. But I would imagine that most men know where it is. And, you know, ladies, if you come across a man who doesn't, just point it out to him. Say, look, there it is. It shouldn't be that hard, right? Anyway, on to 5. What's the best way to find a truly committed man? Visit the closest mental hospital. Yes, because all men are mentally inferior. Do you see a theme developing here, folks? Remember, feminism is just about equality, and the best way to get equality is to shit on men, and to pull them down any way possible. Instead of lifting women up, you just pull men down. Because, you know, they're all mentally deficient, disabled morons who are incapable of finding a clitoris, and deserve to be stabbed in the chest. So, you know. And by the way, feminists don't hate men. That's just a nasty rumour. Number 6. What do you call a man who won't go down on you? You don't. Okay, now once again, this and the clitoris joke will be coming up towards the end when we have another joke which is relevant to this topic. But it'd be interesting if we swapped the genders here. You know, what do you call a woman who won't go down on you? You don't. Now, I'm sure a lot of feminists would find that very offensive and possibly quite rapey, because, you know, a woman shouldn't be forced to go down on a man, or pressured to go down on a man, right? She should be able to make her own choice. And for the record, I agree with that. If someone absolutely fucking hates oral sex, they shouldn't be forced into it. But that should go for men and women, right? Apparently not. Apparently it's a man's duty to eat pussy. Number 7. What should you do if a man walks out? Shut the door and celebrate. Now, I imagine if some MGTOWs out there gender swapped this joke, they would be called misogynists, and feminists would be saying, well, they're only saying that because they can't get women, and their fat neck beards are living in their mother's basement. But, you know, when it's a man walking out and a woman celebrating, it's empowering to women, apparently. It's not misandric at all. And remember, folks, this is the same person who posted a joke earlier saying it's so hard to get a good man. Yeah. 8. What do you call a woman with PMS and ESP? Well, I would say you don't. I would suggest you run away from that person. But the answer is a bitch who really does know everything. Wow, now this is an amazing joke. This is a very, very amazing joke, because it's the first one so far which is not shitting on men. So it's taken 8 jokes to finally get to a joke which is not shitting on men. Amazing. Personally, I think the answer should be changed to a bitch who thinks she really does know everything. But I guess we'd have to change the joke itself to, what do you call a feminist? Yeah. Number 9. What do a balloon and a man have in common? One prick pretty much ruins them. So it didn't take long to go back to shitting on men, did it? And of course, you know, men are bad because penis. How dare men have a penis? And the penis is obviously a tool of oppression. So, that's why we need to smash the patriarchy. Yep. 10. How are splinters better than a man? Splinters are a pain, but they go away eventually. Yeah. So clever. This is such a clever joke. It's, probably one of the best jokes ever written, I would say. Such wit. So we're 1/3 of the way through, and out of 10 jokes, we have 9 shitting on men and 1 which is not. Well done. Well done, Thought Catalogue. I wonder if that pattern's going to persist. Somehow I think it will. 11. What's the difference between a knife and an argumentative man? A knife has a point. Yeah, that's right, because in the history of humankind, men have never had a point. And men who argue with women are just idiots. Right? That's, yeah. Because, men are shit, right? And women are awesome. Go feminism. 12. How many feminists does it take to change a light bulb? None. It's not the light bulb that needs changing. Okay. I don't really get the joke. Something about society needing to change, I guess. Just not very funny at all. But, next. PMS jokes are funny, period. Okay, I give that one a little bit of credit. It's a play on words, it's a pun, and maybe the best joke so far. That's not saying much, though. And at least it's not shitting on men. That's something. Unlike the next one. 14. How is a man like a gun? Keep one around long enough and you'll definitely want to shoot him. Yep. Because violence against men is funny, right? Men are so bad that you just want to kill them. Now let me say once again, I understand it is a joke. It's not advocating actual violence towards men, right? I get that. But if we were to swap the genders, I think there would be some people extremely offended. And, we can't promote violence against women, right? Number 15. Why did God make Adam before Eve? Everyone needs a rough draft before they make the final copy. Yes, because men are the inferior version compared to women, who are just awesome, apparently. So awesome, in fact, that the only way they can feel awesome is by constantly pulling down men and shitting on them. Well, at least if you're a feminist, that is. Number 16. Why did God even create men? Because he couldn't figure out how to make a vibrator that would mow the lawn. Ah, I see. So it's a man's job to please a woman sexually and cut the lawn. Of course, women could cut their own fucking lawns, but, I guess that would be a misogynistic suggestion, wouldn't it? 17. What do you call a man who's lost 95% of his intelligence? I'm going to have a guess at this one. Is it a male feminist? The answer is divorced. Oh, okay. So, clearly women are far, far more intelligent than men, right? Yep. Because all men are stupid. That's why they deserve to be stabbed and shot. Apparently. Maybe a better version of this joke would be, what do you call a man who's lost 100% of his children, or 60% of his assets? The answer would be divorced. Although I guess that wouldn't be a joke, would it? Just reality. Number 18. What kind of man can you actually change? Because, men need to be changed. They're not fully autonomous beings who should dictate their own journey through life. No, they're things to be worked on and changed because they're faulty and wrong. Nothing sexist about that. Anyway, the answer is the ones still in diapers. Now this is interesting. This is a very, very interesting joke that tells us a lot. You see, the majority of children spend more time being raised and shaped by their mothers than they do by their fathers. In fact, some children don't even see their fathers or have male role models in their lives. And then you also have to take into account that the majority of teachers these days are also female. So it seems that these bad, stupid, faulty men, which these jokes are pointing out, have been raised by females, have been shaped by females. Oh no, sorry, that's not right. It's the mythical patriarchy which is doing it. and women should take no responsibility for the way men turn out. No, of course not. 19. Why shouldn't you trust a man who claims he wears the pants? He probably lies about other shit too. So women are in control of everything. Okay, it's not a partnership, or there aren't situations where men are in control. No, it's all women, because men are stupid and incapable of doing anything, right? Yep. I'm sure no one would be offended if we swapped the genders in that one. Number 20. Why does it take 1 million sperm to fertilise 1 egg? They really are too damn proud to stop and ask for directions. Who would the sperm ask for directions? I'm just curious. What exactly is in her vagina? Is there like a whole community there or something? I don't know. But once again, surprise, surprise, men are shit. In fact, here's the typical feminist joke, right? Knock knock, who's there? Men are shit. Men are shit who? All men are shit. That's it. Why did the chicken cross the road? Answer, because men are shit. That's it. That's the same punchline in just about every joke in this list. Men are shit. In fact, that could be the entire joke. Just some feminist with blue hair saying men are shit. And in fact, I'm sure there are many examples of that out there. But feminism is just about equality, folks. It doesn't hate men. No, that's just a nasty rumour. Number 21. What does one lesbian vampire say to the other? Same time next month? Okay, I do find that funny. Gross. It's sick. It's extremely sick, and I'm glad I'm not eating at the moment. But yes, it is funny, and surprisingly it's not shitting on men, which is a shock. Number 22. Why does the average woman reportedly want beauty more than brains? Now, is it saying that, is this what she wants for herself or in a partner? I'm assuming it's what she wants for herself, okay? The answer is because the average man can see so much better than he thinks. Yeah, that is hilarious. Such a clever joke. So once again, men are stupid, right? But we could look at this joke and say, no, it's because women are vain, right? Could that possibly be the answer? Could a woman possibly put more importance into her beauty than her brains because they're vain? Oh, no, that would be misogynistic to say that, wouldn't it? No, but it's perfectly okay to say men are idiots. 23. If February is Black History Month and March is Women's History Month, what happens the rest of the year? I think I know the answer to that. We focus on female issues and ignore male ones. And then we make fun of men on International Men's Day. Is that the right answer? Let's see. The answer is discrimination. So, yeah, I got it right. I actually got the answer right. Although I don't think their version of discrimination and my version of discrimination are the same thing. But technically, I was right. 24. I've received hundreds of responses to my ad seeking a husband, and they all say the exact same thing. Take mine, please. Yep. Once again, shitting on men. Men are shit. Husbands are shit. Now, look, there is a long history of jokes about wives. So, once again, we can't be too precious. Although, I guarantee you the person making this joke would find jokes about wives to be misogynistic and proof that we live in a patriarchy. And I doubt they would understand that swapping the genders and making a similar joke about men is somewhat hypocritical. Next. What's the definition of a perpetual bachelor? Let me guess. A man who's happy? Is that the answer? The answer is a man who's missed the opportunity to make a woman miserable. Yeah, because that's all men do. is they make women miserable. I don't know why all women just don't become lesbians. I mean, I'm sure lesbians have no problem finding the clitoris. And men, as we know, men are shit, right? So, number 26. You might as well go for a younger guy. Why? They never mature anyway. Yeah, all men are immature, all men are shit. Exact same punchline for just about every fucking joke. 27. How do you get a man to have the best orgasm possible? Who cares? Now this is interesting because if a man can't find a clitoris or won't go down on a woman, he's a bad man. But there's no responsibility for a woman to please a man sexually. It's only a one-way street. That seems perfectly fair, right? I'm sure any man in a relationship with a woman like that is going to be perfectly happy. No hypocrisy there whatsoever. Number 28. How come it's so hard to make a fool out of a man? Because most of them are the do-it-yourself type in that way. So, once again, the punchline is men are stupid, men are shit. What a surprise. I'm so shocked. 29. Almost through, guys. We're almost through it. Don't worry. Don't stress. 29. Love is blind. Marrying a man, on the other hand, is a real eye-opener. Yeah, because men are shit, right? And finally, number 30. Gravity is the story of how George Clooney would rather float away into space and die than spend one more minute with a woman his own age. Yeah. Now, it's been a while since I've seen Gravity. I've only seen it once, and I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. So I can't remember exactly why George Clooney floated away. But if it's like the majority of movies, he did so to save Sandra Bullock. Or I should say to save the female character. But no, it's because men hate women their own age. But it's perfectly okay for a cougar to go out with a younger guy, obviously. Because, you know, she's just expressing her sexuality. But, you know, all men are shallow and only like younger women. Or maybe George Clooney discovered that the Sandra Bullock character was a feminist who was making jokes like on this list, and I don't blame him for floating away in that, if that's the case. So that was interesting. That was an interesting little look into the feminist mind. Maybe we should change the title of this article to reflect what it's actually about. So maybe instead of 30 hilarious jokes for feminists because women are awesome, it should be 30 jokes shitting on men, because that's the only way that insecure feminists can convince themselves that they're awesome. I think that's a much more accurate title.
No! That wasn't it. So I think it was like Sunday, it was 5 days ago, I uploaded a video of me doing stand-up onto YouTube for the first time ever. Like part of my, hey, I'm actually gonna try now, I have confidence type thing. And it's a video of me doing a joke where I have met an MRA in real life. Do you guys know what that is? It's a men's rights activist. Do you guys know about this shit, or can I tell you about it? You do know? Alright, come on, just a little bit. It's these dudes who live in like a Twilight universe where the patriarchy is actually the matriarchy. Dudes are super oppressed. It's because of the feminists. We're all crazy bitches ruining their lives. And I like follow their activities like all the time because it's so batshit. I think there was one that I saw where it was like, is rape bad, guys? And they're like discussing it on a forum, and I'm just like, oh! So I met one in real life in a coffee shop, and basically it went like, I was like, oh my god, are you like a men's rights activist? because I can hear him talking about male suicide rates, and that's like one of their main arguments is that men are more oppressed because their suicide rate is higher, which is true, but guys, it's because of the patriarchy, because they've been socially conditioned not to have feelings and go seek help. Okay, you know, like, yeah. Guys. Anyway, I was like, are you an MRA? He basically like got super flustered and like burst into a pile of ash in front of me when I was just like, are you this thing? And he was like, bah! Whereas if someone came up to me and was like, are you a feminist? I'd be like, fuck yes! You know, like, yes I am. Me and my friends thinking of getting feminist killjoy tattoos. How about that? How about that? Anyway, so I put this video online, and some of my friends were like trying to warn me. They were like, dude, the MRAs are gonna find it. They're like really well known for their like internet terrorism. They'll just like flame the shit out of you and do a bunch of horrible stuff. And I was like, whatever, guys. Like, nobody cares about me. So on Tuesday, I think it was, I was looking at my phone and the Gmail section or whatever, and I noticed like there's little notifications in like the Google Plus ring-a-ding area, and I'm like, what the fuck? I've never seen that before. I never used Google Plus. What the fuck is that? So I like hover over it, and it's just like streams of hatred just like getting poured into my shitty little YouTube video that is like a super tepid like response to my stand-up anyway, and it's just like, lame, ew, oh, no! Just like all these dudes with screen names like Iron Maiden and stuff like that, and I was just like, holy shit, like it's real! They're just like proving me once again, they're fucking real! Yeah, that shit was crazy. It starts out, it's like, they're just like, you're not funny, your delivery is bad. I'm like, alright. It's your opinion, I disagree, fine. And then it starts to go to like, yeah, women aren't funny. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, watch it. And then it's like, feminists are definitely not funny and they're terrible. And I was like, oh! And then like the topper was, I think it's supposed to be some kind of a joke, but it said 9 out of 10 people enjoy getting raped anyway. And I was just like, ah! Like this like fireworks exploding out of my brain. Just like, oh my god! Guys. That shit was crazy. The video went up like 5 days ago. I think this has been like a couple days. Like 700 views, 68 comments when I closed the comments because I was like, whoa shit! Guys, I don't want to give you this like platform to like spout your bullshit. Yeah, 700 views! What? The video I have on YouTube that has the most views is like 100, and it took like 5 years. Because like nobody gives a shit about my life. Come on, like my mom cares. Like that's it. I put up this video and I was like, oh, okay, my aunts can see it. But these dudes, like, I've never gotten so much attention in my life, and it was all bad. But not true, because there's 700 views, 169 downvotes, like no, and then like 3 upvotes, so there's like 600 people out there saying that we're just like, I don't really feel any way about this. You guys are mad, whatever, but I don't think it's that good either. And I don't think they realize that they gave me like a fucking beautiful gift that is having haters! I have never had haters! No, I get to like, my comedian friends were like super jealous, like posted this shit, they were like, how did you do that? I was just like, just be me, no big deal. Just be brave. Get to be brave now, guys. Be super brave. Also, like, I probably wasn't gonna like keep joking about them, like if they didn't say anything, but now I'm like, oh my god, I have so much more material now! This is like crazy! I can't give this up. But it is like a little bit scary, because those dudes are fucking crazy. Like, you should go on this blog that's We Hunted the Mammoth, that's where they like post all their activities, and I was talking with a dude, and I was like, dude, should I like actually be worried? Because I know that sometimes they like publish your personal information and do actually like really scary shit. And he was like, yeah, maybe, dude. And I was like, wait, still might. They still might do it. He was like, yeah, I've gotten threatening phone calls, and I called the cops, and they were just like, the internet's not real. What are you doing? But whatever. I'm gonna put this online too. If they come to my house, like, I don't know, there's a gate or something. But no, I think it's really good, because like, I've never been in this situation before. I don't think like a lot of people have. Like, I've had people like scoff at me and be like, alright, feminist crazy lady. But I haven't like had a swarm of weirdos on my tail. And I think that that's good, you know, just to be like, do I really believe in this? And it's like, yeah, I pretty much do. So, thanks guys.